Boom. Beverage check? Any beverages going on over there?
I got my sip and save from the Circle K.
Hell yeah. Circle K, one of the better gas stations, I'll say.
This one's not even a gas station.
It's just the convenience
Yeah,
store. Gotcha.
it doesn't have a It's actually on this really weird tall hill, which doesn't make any sense because I'm on the beach.
Yeah.
So it's like the tallest building in the entire town is the Circle
the
K.
Circle
I mean, in terms of like the bottom, the ground floor. Like if there's a flood, which happens here from like hurricanes and storm surges, the Circle K might be the only thing that's not flooded.
Wow. That's a real Florida skyscraper right there.
Yeah.
The Circle K.
It's the biggest hill in Florida.
Yeah.
Which the biggest hill in Florida, the highest point is so low that you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah. It's
Like-
probably about the same as Illinois because it's
No,
very,
it's you have
bad
like
here.
that state park in the south. in
I guess
Illinois.
so. Yeah.
Guess
think our-
what Florida's highest point is. I want you to guess.
Like
How
what
many
the-
feet?
How many
above
feet
sea
off
level?
the ground?
How
I'm
many
gonna
feet above
say,
sea level?
Like 12 feet. What? What?
That's not a logical guess. Okay, for instance, the Netherlands, a notoriously low-lying. It's called the Netherlands. It's a notoriously low-lying place, right? Netherlands highest point. Okay, you're looking at 1,058 feet above sea level. It's
all
the
right.
highest
12
point in the entire country.
12 was a little
12
off.
is a bit rough.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say like 300.
Okay, you're pretty close. Last one, I'm gonna look up Illinois highest.
Because Illinois is mostly, I guess, when you get rural, it's
So
pretty
Illinois
high.
is 1,235 feet.
Okay, so that's pretty low.
Florida is 345 feet above sea level. Is the highest point in the entire state.
Interesting. So Illinois is shorter at the end of the day, right? You said it was in the 200s, and that
No,
one was
I
in
said it
the...
was 1,200.
Oh, I forgot the 1,000. I was like,
Yeah,
200 is
it's
pretty damn low. I
like
don't...
4 times. I think it's over 4 times the height of Florida's highest point.
Gotcha. Well, I have a question for you. Which insect has been named America's top nuisance pet or pest, not pet?
Yeah, I was about to say, who's keeping an insect as a pet?
Yeah. Top nuisance pest. What pest is getting in the way the most?
Okay, the top nuisance pest.
I love these questions. This is like so
okay,
much
wait,
better than the
for
other
what
one.
region?
America's. Like it's just America.
Okay, so top nuisance pest in America.
That's a good question because it does depend, it's
Yeah.
different.
This is a very interesting question because there's so
Yeah.
many ways this could go. You could be like bed bugs, but I
Right.
don't think that's it.
Be ticks, but
Yeah, but what's the biggest nuisance? Mm-hmm. Is it mosquitoes?
it is not. It is ants, which, I believe it, as ants have been a nuisance in my life many times.
And care to extrapolate?
I'm not gonna blame this on myself, but in my old apartment, I had a lot of tiny ants. It was like an infestation, and it's not like I did my dishes. I kept the place pretty clean. I think it was the people below me because when I went to the ground floor, I saw a bunch of ants there too. But this was like the week I was moving out. It was like really bad. And my mom told me about this thing. I'm sure maybe you already know about it, but it's this thing you can buy at like Walgreens where you set it up and the ants eat it and they take it back to their colony or whatever. And that one ant kills the rest of the ants.
Yeah,
which
I know.
is
It seems
so funny.
mean. Yeah, my parents had a little bit of ants in their house, and they did that.
Yeah. I wish it happened. I mean, I'm glad I didn't have to do that. I'm sure someone had to do it eventually, but I was like, I kind of wanted to just do. It's just funny that like one ant gets blamed for wiping out the entire group.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it doesn't get blamed by the other ants. It
Right.
gets blamed by you, Carson Rundquist, in retrospect.
Yeah, but it's just funny,
in
like
this hypothetical situation.
one of these ants is gonna,
It's like not like all the ants are like acting like they're all poisoned and like writhing on the ground. They're all pointing at like they're using their little ant arms to point at him.
you
They're like,
did it.
Joe.
Fuck you, Joe. Joe's like, I'm sorry.
It's like that was my bad. It seemed tasty at the time.
Yeah. Well, that was that answer.
What a great trivia. Like I gave you trivia that was really, really difficult. You gave me trivia that was easier, and I still got it wrong.
Yeah. See, I don't know. This one was pretty hard. It was pretty open ended.
Yeah,
but,
that's the thing. It was broad.
yeah. But
Mine
shout out
was
to
too
Scary
specific.
Mommy. Yours was just like guessing, I guess.
Mine
It
was
just,
more of like just a point of interest, and I was making you guess for fun.
And
It
I was
wasn't
still
like I expected. If you got it right, I
very
would have
off
been amazed.
initially.
I
So-
will say that when you said 12, that was a really bad guess.
I don't know what I was thinking. I was like, well, I don't know, 12 off the ground. That's
Yeah. Now my parents' house is actually like 6.
So 12 would be ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, and they live on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, have you been to Florida?
Many times, yeah.
So you
It's-
must have seen an elevation change.
I mean,
of
it was
more than 12 feet at
I
some
didn't
point.
go outside of Orlando really. And
But even within Orlando, like you probably could just look
We're talking
out of like
roller
a hotel.
coasters.
You could look out of
Yeah.
a hotel and be like, "Hey, that land over there is 12 feet higher than the land over here."
right.
Like I feel like you could see that.
Probably. Yeah. So I leave tomorrow for Sweden.
You leave, yeah, that is exciting.
Everything is going okay. The one annoying thing is I can't find my case for my noise canceling headphones, which is and I know that's like silly, but I'm like I have
on
them
the
right
flight-
here. I want
Yeah.
to. I'm still gonna bring them. I'm just like gonna kind of have to be gentle, I guess.
Yeah.
And yeah, the one thing I was gonna ask for your tips on something like this. Is it's one of those situations where my check-in isn't until 4 p.m. But I
At
land
the-
at 10 a.m. at the Airbnb.
Yeah, at the Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what I do is if it's an Airbnb, you can just, use the message within that and be like, "Yo, can I show up a little earlier?" And
Yeah,
then sometimes
that's-
they're like, "Yeah." And sometimes they're like, "No, but you can leave your bag here."
That's what she said. I asked her, and she was like, "You can leave your bag here."
Yeah.
The whole building has access to that room, so
Then maybe don't.
I was like, "Yeah, that's fine." But yeah, I'll probably just like walk around and go to like a cafe and just
Do
get
you just have a
lunch.
backpack?
A backpack and a carry-on suitcase. Yeah. So
And you're bringing the full-size noise-canceling headphones.
yes, these are not. I mean, they don't take up that much space in my backpack.
One of the huge space savers is I just bring, wireless, because you have AirPods Pro, which are noise canceling.
Yeah, about that. I ran those through the wash, and
Okay,
I did replace them not with AirPods Pro, and this is not sponsored, but with Beats Pro. The Beats, surprisingly great, especially for working out.
Yeah. See,
Yeah,
I personally hate the in-ear like silicone tip headphones.
yeah.
Now, because of that, I still also, when I travel, needed noise canceling for all the flights. So I bought those like nothing ear ones because
Yeah.
they were the cheapest Bluetooth noise canceling headphones. They're okay. They're
Yeah.
adequate. But I only use them on airplanes, so I'm fine. Because then I use normal AirPods,
yeah,
otherwise.
totally.
Which is funny because I travel with 2 Bluetooth wireless earbuds. But they're so small, so it's nice.
Right, it doesn't take up any space.
Yeah.
Speaking of technology, before we get into today's movie about technology, we want to thank today's sponsor that has something to do with technology, BetterHelp. Thought that was a good segue.
They sponsored last episode.
Oh my God, no! I got confused.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, you should cut that. You should cut that.
Yeah.
This is for the edit. If you can see it in the
Yep.
Well, speaking of technology,
Well, I have a quick question.
go for it.
So you last episode, I believe, asked me about packing, and I
Yes.
gave you maybe was it even recorded or was it just our normal conversation? I don't remember. But packing cubes is the tip I gave you, and you went
Yes.
out and got some.
Yes, I did. Also, I think that may have been the Patreon episode, but
Might have
still,
been.
you did bring this up. in a recording. And
How do you like them?
I really like them. Yeah, I wish I got more. I bought the Thule ones. They're white.
It's actually pronounced Thule.
Thule. Okay, good to know.
And it is Swedish.
It's sweet. Well, that's why I was like, it seems like it's meant to be to get the Thule.
Yeah.
Good to know. I recently learned they pronounce it IKEA there instead of IKEA, which is good to know. But yeah, I bought some packing cubes, and yeah, it's like one big one small one, and the small one's too small for like shirts, so that one's for like underwear and socks, and then the big one, I was like, the thing that needs to get compressed should be pants and shorts.
Yeah.
So I used that bigger one for pants and shorts, and that's why I'm like, I wish I got more because the shirts don't really fit in the cubes, but this already saves a lot of space, so I was able. I will say my carry-on suitcase right now, I have never looked at a more organized bag. It is
Packing
so
cubes are amazing. They're so aesthetically pleasing when you
Yes.
see them like compartmentalize your bag like that.
really. And
Yeah, I just have one like medium-sized packing cube, and I put all of my clothes in it. So it's just one cube with all my clothes. And I have like specific clothes I wear that compress really well.
Yeah.
Usually.
Yeah, no, it's amazing how much it compresses once you get it. Again,
Yeah.
not sponsored. This is not sponsored by all packing cube companies. But big fan,
Yep.
and I'm not.
It's my
stressed
number
anymore.
one like packing light, just like one bag travel thing I tell everyone.
Yeah. Now all the people want to know what movies I downloaded for the flight. And
Everyone does want to know. I want to know.
I downloaded Training Day, the Denzel Washington and Ethan Hawke movie, because I've never seen it. It's long and, it looks entertaining.
Yeah.
I downloaded the original Hairspray because it's lighthearted, it's fun. And then, oh God, I downloaded the 1954 Godzilla. I'm like,
No.
and that's because
That's interesting.
I fall asleep easily to older films, specifically action films for some reason, and I'm like, this, if I need to like fall asleep on the plane, I can like maybe put this on and like take a melatonin and drift off. And hopefully watch the movie eventually.
Now,
I heard it's good.
Yeah, as someone who travels transatlantically fairly regularly,
Yes.
essentially every transatlantic plane is equipped with an entertainment center that has like 100 movies on it.
I know, and I've done those in the past. Sometimes the quality, honestly, is just kind of annoying to me. I know that's picky. I have my iPad. I really like using my iPad for it instead of their screen.
I'm just imagining you like buzzing the flight attendant, and they walk over there, yes sir, and you're like, the quality of this cinema is.
I'm
shit.
like, do you have the 4K restoration of this? Because this is like 1080. Yeah. That's how I. So
actually,
anyway,
some of the flights they offer entertainment, but you have to use your own screen. So instead of there being a screen on the actual back of like the headrest, it's just like this little like clip that you can like stick your phone on or your iPad and just watch it on that.
Yeah, I've done that before, and that's pretty convenient. And whenever, honestly, well, the thing I'm most scared of is falling asleep on the plane. I really need to fall asleep on this plane, and I'm scared I'm not going to be able to. But it should be fine. I got an eye mask, so that's good. Anyway, speaking
For a second,
of,
I thought you said IMAX.
No, I didn't get an eye. But
You're like, can we have this film in IMAX, please?
speaking of a thing you put over your head to cover your eyes with, today's movie. Now I'm proud of that segue.
I ruined it too by saying something stupid.
No. I realized it as you were saying something, and I was like, oh wait, I should. Okay. Today we're talking about we met in virtual reality.
What if you had a virtual reality headset as your eye mask, and you were just doing virtual reality in the plane?
Then
you were using that as your screen and watching your movie on the virtual reality headset.
True.
And you were just like looking around, and people next to you were like freaking out.
I'm doing a flight simulator in virtual reality. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I'm going wherever I want to go right now. Yeah, this is an interesting movie.
It's fascinating.
It premiered at this year's Sundance, I'm pretty sure. It's the first ever, I don't know if it's the first, but it was filmed entirely inside the world of VR. And the synopsis reads, Filmed entirely inside the world of VR, a look at the excitement and surprising intimacy of a what is this, burgeoning cultural movement, demonstrating the power of online connection in an isolated world. It's so funny. The cast is Jenny 0629, Is Your Boy, Dragonheart, and Toaster. And it's directed by Joe Hunting, who is a very crucial part of why this movie is the way it is, in my opinion. Not that I know anything about Joe Hunting, but I do know that he is a user of virtual reality based on what I've read, and that is such a big part of this, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah, you can tell that they have a very thorough understanding of this whole universe. It's not it's not like a view into other people's lives. It's like you're entering their lives in this very delicate way.
Totally. I just feel like, and this has been said a lot about this, that like in the wrong hands, this kind of movie could be so bad and so like not
exploitative.
That's exactly, because it is so easy to look at it on like a surface level and kind of like poke fun at it, because it is undeniably fun or funny, I should say.
Yeah.
Like,
and the thing is, it's very self-aware as a film, in that the first scene of them in the car it's so funny. Like, that's funnier than I think some movies that were comedies that we watched on this podcast.
Definitely. There's a scene where someone is having, well, there's two. There's one where a character is having like a very deep, vulnerable conversation about gender identity, and it's just a hot dog. And like just getting into it. And then there's another. I just
also love, like, whenever they're walking, their legs are all like glitching out.
There's another when they're like in the sign language class and someone's explaining something.
Oh, I know what you're gonna say. This is the funniest. Okay, this is the single funniest part of this whole film. So skip the next like 20 seconds if you don't want to hear it.
Yeah. Someone is explaining something very personal and deep. The camera pans, and it's just Kermit the Frog looking at him with his mouth open. And it's so funny. It is like, I laughed so hard. It caught me off guard. There's just so many funny moments in this movie that, like, aren't trying to be necessary. It's just like, look at this.
Textual.
Like,
yeah, it actually... genuinely, and I'm not saying this because it's something we've talked about a lot recently, but it's a lot of the humor is similar to The Rehearsal.
Yes, yeah.
It's like this, like, kind of almost like cringy, but very like interesting and contextually, like it's a lot of funny juxtapositioning.
Yeah, totally.
Of, like, you know what you were saying, like the deep conversation, but it's a hot dog.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
that kind of stuff.
Like, it just like pokes fun at people in general in a way that in a way that doesn't like talk down on them. Which
it's a very humanistic, because again, this could have been a mean film.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it just comes across where by the end of it, I think you get a really good sense for these people, and it's just they found their kind of place on the internet.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And the movie, I was really shocked after I watched it, just looking at some of the reviews, and people are really mean about this movie. Like, there are some really, like, hateful comments about it. And it's either they didn't watch the movie or just, like, saw the poster. Because, like, you look at it and you're like, what the fuck is this? But I'm like, the film, like, comes at the subject with such open arms, and I don't know, makes a really good case for why the people in this movie use this software. And I personally walked away with it like, if this is what they want, like, that's great, you know?
And, these, I think, for the most part, are people who exist kind of on the fringes of society, and a lot of them, talk about how they have, social anxiety. It's a great tool to actually connect with other people in this less conventional way.
Yeah.
But, I mean, these people have always existed, like people who have this issue. And when I was younger, people would go on, like, internet forums and talk a lot, or where this is really just an extension and evolution of that. And I think within 10 years, it's going to be a pretty normal way to meet people.
Definitely. I mean, I in high school used I think I've talked about this, Tiny Chat a lot, and had like a community on there that like I would spend every moment I wasn't at school on, because I was like, these are my internet friends, and and I'm still friends with some of them, and it's just like, it is like, this is a thing that's not only been around, but is just like gonna be more accessible and more clearly like inviting and I don't know, like immersive, I guess. Like you can really not feel like you're in the real world.
Yeah. Have you tried VR?
Yes, I have a VR headset here.
You do?
I do. I never use it because I don't know if it's broken, but the battery life only lasts like 15 minutes at a time. But I did try. I don't know if it was VR chat. I tried one of these things though, and it was just a bunch of like kids, and I was like, I'm out. I can't do this. VR's like, I'm assuming you've tried VR, right?
I've only tried VR once, but I've
Okay.
kind of read a lot into it recently, because I think I'll probably get a VR headset when like the next generation of them comes out.
Yeah.
Because apparently Apple's rumored to be working on one that should be like really good, like, spec-wise.
That's the thing is like, and this is less about the movie and more about the tech, but like there was the period of time when they first got invented where people were like, this is the future. This is what everything's going to be. And it hasn't really gotten there yet, but I'm like, the technology once that's what I kept thinking about during this. I'm like, it's so glitchy and looks awful most of the time, but I was like, the technology will get there.
Oh,
and
it's
that's what's
there.
crazy about this.
And I think it's getting there soon.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Because I'm
there's a company that, so you've seen Ready Player One, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But so like the treadmill, like omnidirectional treadmill.
Yeah.
There's companies that actually make those for VR. Now the way they have to work is hilarious. Your body is like strapped around the waist with this like big thing that's like kind of a spine for you that you're connected to hold you up. And then the ground is just like this kind of bowl-shaped thing, and you have these special shoes that are extra slippery, and so you run and your feet just slide back to the middle. And they have like mouse laser for like optical sensors.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's like your
That's
feet are
so
just like
good.
mice, but that simulates running. And then there's a guy who played it, who would like, there's a video on YouTube I saw where he's like, yeah, I was playing Skyrim in VR with it, and then I wanted to go to this town, but then I realized I'd have to run like 5 miles, so I didn't do it.
Dude, that's so funny. Oh my god.
And then there's also, going to be like haptic suits like in Ready Player One. When all this stuff in the next 10 or so years becomes more widely available with these like 8K sensors that remove the screen door effect of seeing pixels.
Yeah.
It's kind of starting to come together.
It's going to happen. Maybe not
unless the world ends first.
True. Well, that's a big part of it, is like, I think a big part of this movie like is the fact that so much of it was filmed during COVID, and I'm like, not that COVID is still where it was when this film was made, but I'm like, it's no wonder so many people are using this. I'm like, you can't really say it doesn't make sense, I guess. I'm like, it's a total, and it's just going to be more common, I feel like.
It is an interesting point that you can tell the reason this film was made is because of COVID, and it was showing this way that people are connecting during COVID, but I feel like it kind of morphed into something else where that's not really the focal point of the film.
Yeah.
Now it's really just about the world and these people that have like found a home in it.
Totally.
And there really is, it's like, obviously some people are going to make fun of it, and parts of it are like, very non-traditional, but it's clearly something that brings certain people a lot of, joy and a sense of belonging. So, I mean, I don't know who any of them other people are to deny that, because I don't think these people care what those people think.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of moments in here where there's like characters just sobbing into the mic, like really emotional, like at the wedding, which is near the end of the movie. Like, I don't know. It's like, it feels so real, especially at that point in the movie after you've been watching it for a while. And I'm like, that it brings up a more like philosophical takeaway where it's like, what is required to like have to feel like you're like alive and like experiencing these things, and it's like you can have all that in this world, and that's what's so fascinating
which
about
is
it.
crazy to think about for the future of
Yes, yeah,
where life is going. Because everyone's already on their phones for hours a day, and this is kind of like an evolution of that, where you're in a space.
yeah. Well, that's what's like, and I honestly like. There's a lot of people that will watch it and take it very grim and be like, "Oh man, this like the world is so shit right now," and like you're not wrong, but also it's so like reassuring to hear a lot of these people's stories, knowing like there is a space out there for a lot of people that don't feel like they have a community elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is something that is like literally, as you can see in the doc, like super beneficial and life-saving to so many people. And
it's crazy to me how comfortable the people in this film are, communicating with other people in this way.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they're comfortable enough to like cry into it, where they really, I think the lines for them are blurred between real life and this, putting on this headset and being in their living room. But then there are these moments of like self-awareness where they talk about the fact that they are in their living room, laying on the ground. They're like, I'm on a beach, but I'm also just laying on the ground in my room.
No, it's so crazy. Just like
and when they like hug and everything in VR, it's such a strange, like, my brain, it kind of hurts trying to process of what's happening.
Fascinated by all the group pictures they took. I was like, that's there's so many group photos. I was like, they love just documenting it, and I'm like, that I guess it makes sense if you're them, but like
the thing though is it makes sense also because if you think of the purpose of a photo, it's to document. I mean, for those kinds of photos, like it's to document that you like what you did in this, like at that time. You know? So people take vacation photos. Or like, look, here's me in front of the Eiffel Tower. Here's me holding up the Leaning Tower of Pisa. But for them, it's still gonna bring back the same, mental image for them of these memories. It's just not them physically. Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is a separate note. But kind of on what you were saying about it not being exploitative is like, it's the fact that they don't. It seems like the kind of thing that it would end and it would reveal the real people or like show some sort of non-VR footage. And I'm so glad it didn't, because that would fully defeat the purpose of, I feel like, what these people signed on to do, firstly, but also like why they use it. It's like you can be a different person entirely in here, and that's like what the film is trying to say.
And also the film, since it's all filmed in VR, is giving us the experience of being there, because it's what we would have seen if we were there with our VR goggles, so it's just the whole film. I don't know, this film is crazy.
It's really it's one of the more interesting things we've watched on this podcast. I'm so glad we did this. I don't know, I think it'll age really well. It's not getting the most buzz out there right now, but like I think it will like kind of slowly catch on, because really it's the only thing I've seen about this that's not like a Vice documentary on YouTube that's like, we spent a week in the VR, and it's like not at all getting at what it is. But at the same time, I will say something I've seen a few other people bring up and that I agree with is the fact that this isn't the most authentic portrait of what it's like on there, because I've seen a lot of YouTube compilations where most of what's happening on VR chat is Kermit the Frog's like saying so many slurs and just like it's like the worst shit you've ever heard. This community that it highlights is very positive and like showcases it in a good light.
And I think, obviously that's just, you can find this kind of community within VR chat, even if it's not the norm.
100%.
Because it's not really a documentary about VR chat. It's about certain people who have found something in VR chat.
Totally. So I I really liked the documentary. It was kind of hard to watch sometimes. Like, it is a very ugly documentary. Like, it doesn't look at all appealing, and if you get like annoyed or bored easily watching like glitchy, like just the large boobs running around.
Yeah, okay, the boob physics is crazy. They all
never
have
got
individual
old.
physics, so it's like they just bounce everywhere.
It got me every time. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
They're just
like when they were
moving on-
driving in the car, the physics couldn't keep up, so they were just like flying away.
so funny.
Yeah,
That's the thing, is like, it's so hilarious at the same time. Like, it is a very like sincere and like serious doc in a lot of ways, but like it's so funny. It is so funny to watch. Yeah. Did you have any other thoughts on it? Did you watch it with your parents?
I watched the first half an hour with them, and I got the vibe that they were really not enjoying it. So then I just watched the rest of it by myself.
That makes. I don't think I would ever show this to my parents.
They were so confused.
Yeah.
Like, because they don't even really understand what VR is
Yeah.
that much. So I think that it just looked like the world's worst video game.
Yeah. I don't know. I am very like on the lookout when it comes to movies about technology and the internet, and especially like the way it's being done now, which is why I appreciate something like Spree, but I'm also like, they're very different, but I'm like, this is a much better version of internet movies.
I thought you were gonna say of Spree. I'm like,
it's not a
this
better
is
version of
nothing like
Spree.
Spree. It's
But,
a better
like,
version of Spree.
As far as like capturing, and it's different because it's a documentary, but like getting like the cringe comedy of it while still finding like an authentic angle,
Yeah.
I'm like, this nails it. And Spree, it's hard to look past some of the shit that happens in that movie. But yeah, unnecessary Spree comparison.
You heard it here first.
Had to say it.
This film should be compared to Spree.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what to compare this film to. That's the thing. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
It's really like such a specific slice of life doc.
Closest thing I can think of is like Bloody Nose, Empty Pockets. That one doc we watched.
Except for that doc was like fake.
True. That's crazy. That's a crazy documentary.
Yeah, that documentary is
A wild
a
wreck from
lot.
your friend
Yeah.
Kevin. But I'm glad I never would have watched it otherwise. Anyway. Yeah, I mean,
Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, shout out to Kevin. How are you feeling for a score?
I'm gonna. I find it very fascinating. I'm gonna go 4 stars, Karsten.
I'm at 4, and I can see myself like, I think about this movie a lot, and it's only been like a few days. I'm like, this was interesting.
Yeah, it's just such a crazy experience where it really feels like you're dropped in this world, and it's so immersive. Which obviously VR, that's the whole point of VR.
Yeah,
but just being in a completely different world with these specific group of people, it's just such a fascinating.
Yeah,
it just feels like you're in some foreign planet.
Definitely.
I guess I could have just said other planet. Every other planet's foreign.
Yeah. So we met in virtual reality. It's available on HBO Max. So easy one to catch. It says people also search for Space Jam: A New Legacy. I don't know.
I thought you were gonna say Spree.
No. It does say Ready Player One.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I might boot up my virtual reality after this and
For those 15 minutes?
get back into it. Yeah, enjoy those 15 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah, we could do a Karstcast in VR if we both had VR headsets.
Yeah.
We just have an audience and they're all sitting there.
I wonder if anyone watched this in VR, because you can watch movies in VR chat.
Right.
So probably the movie premiere for this. That's the other thing I'm thinking about is like this premiered at Sundance. I'm like, did any of the cast go to so many questions I have.
never know.
Like, how have the casts like been since the movie? Well, question time.
Question time with Carson Runquist.
These
My favorite Runquist.
Do you want to ask for questions in the Discord? If they're well, actually,
How many do we have on the?
we have 2 decent ones. Let me actually just check the Discord because sometimes they already have. Let's start with this one though from Educational Bowl 186. It is best albums/songs to drive to.
Good question.
You've done a lot of long road trips. I mean, I know you put on that the Magnetic Fields album. You're big into
The
that
really
one.
long one.
Yeah, I did a road trip to that album, and it is a good road trip album because it takes up a lot of time.
Takes up a lot of time.
Yeah.
I think that, obviously different albums are for different moods. So I would say that if you're kind of like in a mood where you're introspective,
Yeah,
I would say that The Year of Hibernation by Youth Lagoon is a good album.
that's such a
to
good
drive to.
album. Actually, that is
Right?
yeah, that's a good one. that's a emotional one.
Yeah.
But a good one. Yeah.
Like that's a good late night by yourself album to drive.
Yeah. I'm gonna go kind of actually, well, I don't know. Damn. I'm gonna be pretentious and say there's this artist called Barcode, and it's just
Barcode.
the name isn't actually Barcode. It's like a bunch of like lines on Spotify. But if you search Barcode, you'll see it. And
Wow.
it's a completely anonymous person. I don't know anything about, but they make like experimental jazz electronic music that I've started off listening to just for studying because it's really good studying/writing music. And it's become like my favorite music. It's so addicting and like it's really good for driving if you want to like kind of just zone out too. But don't zone out on the road.
No,
but,
yeah.
you know,
like
just,
kind of get into a zone.
Just
not,
lock in.
Zone out. Just go to a different zone.
yeah. All of their they don't have any albums. It's all singles, and all the singles, the album cover is just a plain color.
Wow.
I found them
That
on like some.
sounds like the most pretentious
It is.
thing you could have ever said.
It's extremely pretentious, but
Like, they don't have any album. I know the question was what album you listen to. They don't have any albums. It's
Just
experimental
singles.
jazz.
It's experimental jazz with strictly singles, and their name you cannot type out, but if you search Barcode, you'll see it. It's
Oh my God.
it's such great music though. I can't recommend it enough.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There's a
There
couple
we
of
go.
recommendations.
This next one actually comes from the Discord. It is what's the best cartoon? And it's from 2Errol Gaki.
The best cartoon. The best children's cartoon, Scooby-Doo.
That's yeah.
The best adult cartoon, Futurama.
Nice.
The
Interesting.
second best adult cartoon, BoJack Horseman.
I was gonna say my favorite adult cartoon is probably BoJack Horseman, and that's only because I haven't really seen a lot of Futurama. I've been told I would love it.
Oh, Futurama is amazing.
Yeah.
Like the first 4 seasons. The stuff on Comedy Central is hit or miss.
Yeah. Best children's cartoon.
Futurama's coming back.
Ooh,
They're bringing it back. It's coming back like next year, I think.
that's crazy. I was just recently told, literally today actually, by a Futurama fan. We were talking about it. I don't want to explain how we got to this conversation, but they explained the finale being like the character keeps like falling off the roof or something, or like keeps jumping off a building, and it's like a time loop. And
Yeah.
apparently they did that so that if it ever comes back, the whole like time loop would make sense
Yeah.
for continuity, which I think is genius, and it's so funny.
There's so
that they're
much
coming
funny
back.
science stuff in the show.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
My favorite children's cartoon, I'm gonna have to say SpongeBob. I think at least the first 4 seasons. I recently, like, me and Cookie watched one of the episodes, and it was so it's like hilarious. It's like the funniest shit in the world. But it gets really bad, obviously. But if it's not SpongeBob, I would say like Ed, Edd n Eddy. I really liked Ed, Edd n Eddy growing up.
Oh, Ed, Edd n Eddy.
They
With,
were
like plank.
Oh, I had a plank. Yeah, I took a 2x4 or whatever and drew the fucking.
Was it one from your barn?
Yes, it was one from my barn. I was like, Dad, can I use this one? He's like, for what? And I'm like, I just want to draw a face on it.
Was it next to the trampoline?
Yes. How do you know these? How do you know these things?
Dude, over the course of our podcasting career together, I've learned so many specific things about you.
Yeah. We need a third host so that we can be like Ed, Edd n Eddy. I feel like I'm definitely Double D, and you are tall, so you're automatically Ed.
He's the really dumb one, though, right?
See, that's why I said you're tall. I didn't say dumb, but I don't. But you're tall, and I feel like I have Ed Double D characteristics. Now we just need like a short, angry person for Ed or Eddie.
I want to bring up something unrelated that I've been meaning to say during this podcast.
Oh no!
You just got a haircut, right?
Yeah,
I
did.
Like an hour ago.
Yep.
Your hair does not look different at all.
I didn't want them to do too much. I will say it looks like it most of the time does, but in the last few weeks it has actually been crazy, and this is a significant improvement to what it was like before.
I think I see the sides look a bit more.
The sides, she did not take a lot off the top when I kind of
not really. That's what the main thing is. Like the height is like the same.
But it's, I like where it's a lot cleaner than what it was. I used to have to like fucking brush it all over, and this I can just like leave it as is. So
yeah, I actually cut my hair.
You cut your own hair?
Yeah, I just did it.
Oh,
and
today.
It's the short. Yeah, I was like, I don't have anything to do before TIFF, so it has a few weeks to grow back. I just wanted to see like what I would look like with significantly shorter hair.
Take off the hat. Take it off.
Yeah, you ready for this?
Yeah. I just realized it is pretty short on the sides. Whoa, It looks good. It looks good. You pull it off.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like because of your head shape and your height, I don't know. You get the buzz on the sides pretty. Is that like buzz pretty much?
Pretty much, yeah.
I think it looks good,
but it's like a 2 on the
nice
2 or 3 on the numbering scale for razors. I don't know. But yeah, I just did it myself. Got rid of a lot of hair. That's
how you do it.
Yeah, I've cut my own hair for years now.
You're getting pretty good at it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of fun, and then it saves money, but that's not why I do it. I just do it because it's fun.
Yeah. Damn, I respect that. I don't trust myself enough to do it.
Yeah, I've messed up sometimes, and it looks pretty bad.
Yeah.
But it's a fun activity, and really, you can get a decent quality like kit for like $20, which is the same price you would spend on one haircut, anyways.
True.
So I've probably saved, over
thousands.
the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Maybe not thousands. I'm not cutting my hair every month, but probably at least 300.
Yeah. Damn. Well, that's our Coursecast record of the day. Is consider
cut your own hair.
Yeah, I buzzed my own hair, and
that's a terrible recommendation.
That's why I'll never do it again.
Did it look bad?
Yeah, this was the buzz I did at the beginning of quarantine, and
that didn't look that bad.
It didn't look that bad, but I was like,
it didn't look. Here's the thing: normally your hair just looks really good. So it's just that when you didn't have the hair, it didn't look as good.
Yeah,
because you have like a good thing going where it's like your face shape and like the tall hair. It works.
It's a very my hair annoys me a lot, and I have a whole complicated relationship with my hair. But thank you, Jeff. Some days I'm like, this is great. I love this, and other days I'm like, I should just be bald. This last one comes from a Shamed Natural 3333. And it's, Jeff, have you experienced anything supernatural / unexplainable? What was it? Karsten 2. You could have just asked the question in general.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
They asked Karsten 2.
You didn't have to say this.
They really made it sound like they didn't really care what you thought, but then they wanted to be nice at the end and say, Karsten.
And Karsten, if you want to do it. Yeah.
No, but that's a good question, though.
You kick us off.
I feel like you should go first because they really want to know what I said.
I'm
so
the
once I say
opener.
mine, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm kind of the featured person here.
I don't know. Nothing unexplainable. I guess the most recent thing was all my technology breaking in the span of 2 weeks. That was really like the laptop made no sense to me. The car, I guess, made some sense. The Wi-Fi was a squirrel's nest. Like it just felt really random at a certain point. That it was all happening at once specifically, but I don't know. I'm not really like.
Did you think someone was out to get you?
Yeah, that's what it felt. I was like, maybe it's all the squirrels. Like, maybe it's just, yeah. I don't know.
Okay, I just thought of one.
There we go.
So, my family would take family trips to Vermont, like once or twice a year growing up. And this was not that long ago, maybe like 5 years ago. What happened was we had a deck of cards. We were going to play cards. And I like legitimately shuffled all the cards. And I said, it's going to be 6 of hearts. 6 of hearts.
Wow.
No. Shuffle them again. For real. Said it again. 6 of hearts again.
Whoa. That's weird. That's pretty weird. Card stuff
it's
really...
just really unlikely.
Yeah.
Is really all that is. So it's really explainable. It's just unlikely.
Are you at all like you like David Blaine? Have you seen any of his videos?
I mean, I'm not specifically a David Blaine fan.
Yeah.
But I'm aware of David Blaine.
Gotcha.
Why are you? It sounded like you were a big David Blaine fan.
Well, I just like went down a rabbit hole one night and watched a lot of his videos.
Going down a rabbit hole just sounds like a magic joke.
Yeah.
You're like, and then I pulled that rabbit right out of that hat.
That's so good. Went down a David Blaine rabbit hole on YouTube.
And then I popped out of a top hat on stage.
Then he sawed me in half. And then because of the way YouTube works, he was my recommended for like months, and it's finally at a point where I've gotten rid of David Blaine. He's done some cool stuff.
It makes sense how we got here to talking about David Blaine, but based on the question, like, what's unexplainable? And you're like, David Blaine, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't make
this guy.
That's magic.
Does magic. The other ones are fake, but David Blaine is real.
That's the most unexplainable thing in my life right now is David Blaine.
Yeah, he made a building disappear.
Yeah. Well, that will do for questions. Let's wrap things up.
I agree, Karsten. I've had a great time with you, and I'm not going to see you for a while because you're going to be on your big trip. Send me some photos.
I will. I'll keep you updated.
Maybe I'll do like a quick video chat with you at some point when you're on your
We'll make it happen.
We'll just do a podcast that we won't record because like we're in the habit of it.
A Jeff and Karsten exclusive. Love you guys. It's hard to come up with a movie for next week because it's going to be so long from now. So we might
just don't come up with one.
Yeah, we'll just keep you guys updated on the Twitter. And next we like to read a review. Hard to follow up last week's amazing review. I never do this, but that was a good review from Joa Faria. But let me see what else we're working with. This one. Sorry. I didn't look at these beforehand. I keep forgetting. Did I do the one about the Garfield movie? Talk about Garfield?
I don't remember.
For some reason, it rings a bell.
You did do that one.
Yeah. Jesus Christ, this is so bad. This one comes from Shazeb from Great Britain. I don't think I've read this one. But if I have, I'm sorry. But subject line is your biggest fan, 5 stars, and it's I love this podcast so much. As soon as a new episode gets uploaded, I listen to it at night, and not only does it put me to sleep, but it brings me so much joy. Please don't ever stop. I love the boys and their take on films, new and old. It's a lovely and weird corner of the internet I'm glad exists. Shanzeh from Pakistan.
I'm almost positive that you've read that one.
That's what I realized as I read it.
But that just shows you that we need more reviews from anyone listening who hasn't submitted a review.
Every time we say this, we do get a bunch of reviews, and then I read like some of them, but then a lot of them get like lost in the pile, and that's why I was looking forever. I was like, damn. If we missed your review, let us know.
Yeah, that's the other thing. If you did a review already, you can just send us the review.
We like to read the reviews a lot. So,
yeah.
Next, we like to thank the patrons over at patreon.com/Carscast. I never miss any of those names. That would be weird if I skipped
not ever.
a name. But if you would like to become a patron and get extra Carscast content while supporting us at the same time, head on over to patreon.com/Carscast, where you can get exclusive bonus episodes, Q&As, shout-outs at the end of every episode, a Zoom hangout every month, which we will do, and I'll be coming at you live from Sweden, maybe, unless I'm somewhere else at the time. And, it's a great place to be. And shout-outs at the end of every episode, which I'm about to do right now. Thank you. Alex Thomas, Anson Contreras, Belly, Big Beard Pirate, Boinks, Camilla, Coop, David Borslow, David Sir, Eden, Finn Richardson, Goodnight Tail, Grant Gow, Jacob Meyer, John Van Hout, Jordan Peele, directing a rom-com, Joshua Hughes, KDT, let's change the Google search results for PTA, Leah Butriaga, Ramirez Tamayo, Levin, thank you for talking about therapy, Liv Rob, Lukewarm, Maddie Robertson, Martin Deff, Marilee Borslow, Meridian, Monroe Page, Noah Wooten, Owen Felton, Queen of Staten Island, Rakakuni, Riley Ost, Ryan M. Sean Kenny showed his dad Runner by Alex G and thought it was decent. Stella Perry, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, Smitty, Wervin Jagerman Jensen, Taylor Smiley Face the Raccoon from Airbud 7th Inning Fetch, Vagard Strom, Wes Kinley, Wiley Todd, Yusef A, and Zoe Hernandez. McDonald. Thanks,
everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Also, if you want a Carscast shirt, link in the description.
True. Link in the description.
Have we sold any of those?
I'm going to check right now. Last time I checked, we did not. So please buy a shirt. They're fun.
Well, someone told me that like a while ago someone bought one.
I know. I need to look at the overall stats and then send you half the earnings because I don't think it's that much. But I'm gonna send.
I will absolutely buy some Panda Express with the earnings.
We have not sold any. No, not recently.
Well,
but guys,
they're
get
very
the shirts.
exclusive. Yeah, you're going to be one of only a few people to have them.
It's the old logo, which we do not have anymore. So it's
it still shows up on, I think, Apple Podcasts.
Does it?
Even though I put in the new logo as the image on SoundCloud.
Huh.
I mean, let's not say it's the old logo. Let's just say it's the alternate logo.
The OG logo, I'll say.
We might go back to that logo at some point. It's a nice logo.
Yeah, it's a good logo. It's very simple. What else? Is that all you have to say, Jeff? Are we wrapping it up here? Get on so. with our lives.
You're like, I need to go to sleep, so I can wake up and go to the airport.
I'm going on a bike ride tomorrow morning before the flight so that I wear myself out.
So to tire you out.
Yep,
Nice. All right. Well, we'll let you get to it, Karsten.
Anything else to say, Jeff?
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
A real big flip side for you because you're going to be in Europe.
Across the pond. Flip side.